Hey there, everybody. Hey, how you doing? I hope you are doing well. I am feeling a lot better. Making a note to myself here about something. Um, it's Thursday. Yay. While we're waiting on folks to join, I remind you to go to coopedup.com. That's my website where I randomly post things. You can also follow me on all of the social channels. I'd appreciate a follow on Instagram in particular. I'm Cooped Up is my handle there. And wherever you are watching or listening to this, be sure to click on that bell so that you get notified anytime I post stuff or come live or whatever. So, hey, Mama, good to see you. Oh, wow. So school started today, for us at least. Actually, our school started on Monday, but the kids went back today because between me having COVID and having to be in quarantine through Tuesday, and Todd being currently in isolation until this coming Sunday, and then all the flight cancellations and stuff, the kids just didn't get into town in time. They got in town very late on Sunday, or Tuesday rather, and we skipped school yesterday. Parent of the year there. So they started today. They seem to have had a good time. As I cough, so I've got a little cough remaining from the COVID, but otherwise, just the fatigue is the only really lingering thing, and no smell and taste. Although I'm getting my taste back. I had something earlier, and I was like, I actually taste this a little bit. But I'll tell you, this morning, getting the kids out the door. So waking up, actually, so I haven't woken up to an alarm clock since like June. Last day of school was like June 23rd or something like that. So it's been that long, 6-7 weeks, something like that. So that was hard. I'm also sleeping in the guest room right now since Todd is in isolation. So that's hard also. And then just getting out the door. I got home. So just getting kids ready to go, fed, out the door, in the car, all of that kind of stuff. And our school is 45 seconds away. It's like a stop sign, turn left into the driveway at the school. That is it. But I was just spent. I got home and I took a nap. I just woken up an hour before, but I was so spent from just the lingering fatigue of the COVID that just so tired. Hey, Carrie. I think it was a success, though. You know, anytime I pick up the kids from school, they're just, blah, 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 blah. I get all of the download. Sometimes I'm like, it's too much or it's too loud. Most of the time I just try to listen to it. Sorry, making another note to myself here. But all seems to have gone well. Seems like you sound like normal today, Carrie is saying. I'm forcing it a little bit. I'm still kind of tired, but I'm feeling a lot better today than I have been in recent thing. Just got a text from AT&T that they overcharged me last month and they're crediting my bill. That's a nice surprise. So anyway, so that was that. And then I had something really weird happen or not really weird, a thought that came into my head that I had not really thought about. So I've told you about previously, last June, I guess we had a school fundraiser, and we realized that a lot of the new families at our school, like kindergarten or lower pre-K families, had never stepped foot into the school before because the school was totally shut down to parents last year, right? So the end of the year and then all of last year, it was shut down. And so that they'd never seen the inside of the school. They've enrolled their kids in this private school that they're paying for, sight unseen, just on reputation only, which says a lot about our school. And that was just like blew my mind when that was the case. Oh, my mom just got that AT&T text also. They must have overcharged everybody, gotten busted for it. But then I realized something new today. So I was in the campus, I'm the president of the school board, and I was having to do some stuff about our new campus. And I was in there, and we're letting parents in the school now as long as you're masked up and all of that. So I was in the school today and I was talking to a kid. Well, there's two things. I'll get to both of them in a minute. I was talking to this kid, totally thinking it was my friend's kid, Max, just chatting with them. I'm like, hey, Matt, or I don't even think I said Max. I just said, hey, how you doing today? And he's like, okay. And he's a really shy kid anyway, so I didn't think anything of it. And I'm like, oh, so how was your summer? It was fine. Oh, did you go to your grandmother's house in El Paso? No, didn't go to El Paso. Like, just all these things. And then we're a good 2 minutes into this conversation, and I'm like, this isn't fucking Max. This wasn't the same kid. I was talking to this random kid, and it's because he was masked up. And so his hair and his eyes look like Max, but obviously it wasn't him. So I'm talking to this kid, and then I just busted out laughing as soon as I realized that, because I came to the realization, and I asked the teacher, I was like, "Is that Max?" And she's like, "No, that's not Max." And I'm like, "Oh wow, that's weird." And she goes, "Well, tell me about it." The weird thing is that many of us have never seen the lower faces of these younger kids in our school. So kids who've gone to our school for like the last 2 years now, they have not seen, or a year and a half, I guess. The teachers have not seen the lower half of these kids' faces. She's like, I saw one of them in public one time, and they came up to me, and I'm like, "Who are you?" And it was one of her kids, because she'd never seen the lower half of this kid's face. And I was like, oh, well, that's weird. And I was talking to our head of school, our principal, president, whatever you want to call her. We call it head of school. And she was like, yeah. And there are a lot of kids that have never seen our faces either. So this year, starting this week, they have all the teachers and staff are wearing these like lanyards that have the picture of their full face on it, so that the kid, and it's hangs around their neck, it hangs flat, so that the kids can see what the teachers actually look like. Blew my mind. I had to go to the city permitting office after that, and that was literally the only thing I could talk about there, because we were talking about it came up about masks and such, and I was like, did you know that like kindergartners and first graders have never seen their teachers' faces? And the lady was like, oh my gosh, I never thought of that. Isn't that weird? And how many of us have like never really met? Like I have employees. I have employees who have never met our clients in person, because they started either right as stuff was shutting down, or we got new clients during COVID. And a lot of our clients are people we've worked with before who go to a different company, and then they hire us at the marketing. Someone will leave one company and become the marketing director of another company and then hire us. So I've met them and I know them and I talk to them, but my employees have never seen some of these people in person, only on Zoom calls and stuff like that. So Carrie's saying that's creepy, like the nurses and doctors in the COVID wards. I know, you don't really know. And it's funny for me. I mean, obviously wearing a mask is super important. And as someone who is a recent COVID survivor, I will say that it is extra important to people, because you do not want this mess. But my smile and my lower half of my face is so important to my personality and like who I am and the way I engage with people. My smile. I mean, if you ask anyone, describe Cooper, smile is like probably one of the first three things they say. They'll probably say tall, smiley, blonde, flaming homosexual, maybe. I can't think of what the fifth one is. Funny is always one of them too. It sounds like I'm bragging on that, but it's the truth is the truth, right? But so it's really hard. So I'm like trying to be super expressive with my eyes, and then I'm just like a fucking creepo with the mask on, like making eyes at people. You should try smizing with your eyes. Oh, I'm smizing so fucking hard, James. Like it's crazy. And the other thing is my eyes show illness a lot. Like I think that my eyes look really tired right now. And when I was up at the school secretary came up to me and she's like, "Oh, I heard you're recovering and blah, blah, blah." She's like, "I can really see it in your eyes that you are still like not fully recovered." I was like, "Yep, you can see it." And everyone, my eyes always give it away with that. But just what a weird thing, talking to some random kid. They probably think that I'm just such a weirdo. In which case the masks are helpful. If you think I'm a weirdo, I hope that you don't remember what my face actually looks like. And I got weird hair today too. I didn't wash it. Actually didn't do anything. I literally woke up this morning and just pulled some water through my hair, and I'm getting kind of like a weird wave and curl. It does look a little greasy though. Anyway, well, that was all about that. What else was I going to talk about? Okay, password health. We're going from COVID, actual medical health, to password health. And this is the lecture portion of it. Y'all, it is so important to get your passwords in order. I was reading something today about this, and this is what made me think about it. And I'm going to share my screen in a minute to show y'all something. But it is super important that you are using different passwords for everything. And I know that that's hard and that's scary and that seems ridiculous and all of that, but that's how they're getting your stuff. And especially for your financial things, it's super important for your financial things, because what they do is that they will hack into one system and then download your name and password, or your username, because most people use the same username and email address or a common username that they use. And then if you're using the same password, they're able to just blow through the computers and blow through everything and get into your system. And that's how they're hacking into your Facebook. That's how they're hacking into your banking. That's how they're hacking into just other stuff that's just stupid, but then they lock you out of it. I mean, I have so many friends who've been hacked into Facebook recently that it's crazy. And so use a password manager. That is the most important thing. And I use one called Dashlane, and I'm actually going to throw a link in it. And I am throwing a link in it that does, where is that right there? You get something for free. Hang on, let me see how I do this. You will get, I think you get like a free month or something. I think I get something for free too. I'm not doing it for that, but also there's the LinkedIn thing, or the Dashlane thing. And then James is right on this too. Use multi-factor authentication. It sends you a text on your phone to authorize or something like that. That's very important, but that is not enough all by itself, because these hackers are so smart that if they have your cell phone number, they have ways to like ghost your number, and they can get the text from you as well. And I refuse to use one of those authentication apps because they just confuse me and I don't know what they are. So I use my cell phone for two-factor authentication, the 2FA. But it's super important that you do this. But here is something I wanted to show y'all. I'm going to pull this up on the screen real quick. Let's do share screen, Chrome tab. So this cyber, I don't know if y'all can see this. This cybersecurity company named Hive Systems published this graphic that talks about how quickly a brute force attack on your password is. And a brute force attack is basically where they get the computer, and it's like what you see on like spy movies and such, where they just hook it up and they and just numbers and letters and numbers and letters until it finally clicks. It's like, so if you use a 4-character password, no matter how complicated you think your password is, that brute force attack is going to instantly get into it. So the left column on this is how many characters you have, and the vertical or the horizontal axis is if you use numbers only, lowercase letters, lower and uppercase letters, lower uppercase letters and numbers, and if you use a symbol included all that. I personally use that last guy. I do numbers, letters, and lowercase symbols, upper and lowercase, and a symbol. So 11 digits, that is the minimum you should be using also. I'm teaching you a lesson today, folks. 11 digits, and that's what I try to use 11 or 12. So look at that though. 11, so if you use 11 digits and you use the numbers, letters, upper and lowercase letters, and a symbol, it will take the computer 400 years to figure out your password, and no one's going to do that. Take 400 years. But anything less than that, like if you use 8, if it's only an 8-digit or 8-character password, the most complicated passwords, they'll figure out in 8 hours. And some of them, it's 6 minutes, 5 seconds. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? And even then, see how it's kind of purple, red, orange, and yellow. Yellow is still not the greatest. If you use a 13-character password and you use the numbers upper and lowercase and all that, 2 million years it will take. I really should change to a 13-digit password. So, and also don't reuse your passwords. So I'll drop a link to I'm dropping a link to this in the comments also so that y'all can see that chart. But isn't that fascinating? I love charts and stuff like this. Isn't that fascinating? And by the way, 200 million, 15 billion years. So just adding one character to it takes you from, or two characters takes you from 2 million years to 15 billion years to figure out. And then adding a few more, it's 7 quadrillion years. So, and I know y'all are like, Cooper, how do I remember all of these things? That's where Dashlane comes in. And there's other ones like OnePass, I think is one of them that some people use. Trying to think of the others. Okay, I'm going to stop streaming that too. The great thing about like I've been using Dashlane for years, love it, love it, love it, is it creates what brought on this about passwords where you hacked. So a bunch of friends of mine were just like super recently. My friend Heather, who is sometimes watching, she got hacked on her Facebook specifically, and they took over all of her Facebook pages, and they went in and they removed her as admin. And by the way, she was an admin. Her brother's an Olympian, a Winter Olympian at that, and went in and removed her as an admin and started creating all kinds of chaos, changed the names of things, started posting horrible things on her business pages, locked her out of a whole bunch of other things. So, I mean, it is a pain in the ass to get your stuff back. Like, just get a good password. Get a good password. The safest thing, honestly, is actually a book that you write them in. But the hard thing about that is you got to keep track of them. And so, like, Dashlane has a password generator, and it creates these passwords. They're ridiculous. It's like 1 uppercase Q, lowercase L, +$, $, 825, blah blah blah. You know, it's you would never figure it out on your own. But it integrates into your phone. Like it'll just autofill on things on your browsers, all that kind of stuff. So it's super important that you're doing that. And the other people, some people are, so you have to memorize one password. So you're required to create one password that you do not use for anything else. And that is the one that you use. And so like I have a password that I only use for Dashlane that does not exist with anything else, a 12-digit with upper and lower and all of that kind of stuff. And it autofills everything. It generates and autofills everything else. The other thing that it does is it gives you a password health. So my password health, I've been doing a lot of work trying to, so the things that compromise you is if it's compromised, it watches, like it knows if like Yahoo was hacked or Minted got hacked recently, or Instagram, or I'm trying to think of some of the others. Like it knows like if you have passwords in it, if they've gotten hacked, it potentially puts all of these other passwords at risk if you use the same password like that. So it tells you that. So it knows if there's similar passwords or the same, and tells you if they've been compromised. And so it gives you a score based on compromised passwords, repeatedly used passwords, and weak passwords. And so I score, after a lot of work, I score an 81 out of 100. It's because I have one password that I used for like, I think when I last checked, I'd used it like 52 times. You don't realize how many passwords you have. 52 times. And so I've got it down to, it can change some of them for you. Some of them you have to manually go and do it. And then it's also very important for old things that you don't use anymore, that you go in and change the password so that that's not a link to all your business too. So anyway, that was the lecture portion of this. Make sure your password health is good. Okay, different subject. You have any questions on that? I'm not a doctor. I just play one on Facebook. The other thing, what was I going to talk about? Oh, so I always thought that my random late night purchases were because I drink too much. So it's not true. Not true at all. I'm sure it doesn't help, but it's not true. I have not had a drink in almost 2 weeks. So this Saturday, I think, will be 2 weeks since I've had a drink, because I started feeling crummy on Sunday. So curious, like weight health, heart health, water health, password health. Got it. Got to keep it all healthy. Got to hack. It's like life hacks. So I haven't had a drink since 2 Saturdays ago. That's right. Yeah. So this Saturday will be 2 weeks. I don't know when I'm going to start it. I'm wanting this exhaustion to really go away, the fatigue, before I light it up again. Plus, I've lost I think I'm going on like 8 pounds, over 8 pounds now. I was 7 yesterday, and I tend to lose about a pound a day if I'm not drinking, which is not a good sign for the amount that I drink, but that's a whole other conversation. But I always thought that my really random, like travel purchases, just random stuff purchases later in the evening were because I've had a little bit of, nope. Last night I bought a Mickey Mouse purse off of Coach. I kid you not. A little crossbody purse that I'm going to take with me to Monica and I are going to Disney World at the end of January on a siblings only trip. And I don't like my hands being all tied up with stuff, and especially if you're writing things. And so I wanted something to put like my phone in, all of that. Nope, just bought it's a Mickey Mouse. It's a Keith Haring designed. It's Keith Haring art of Mickey Mouse on a Coach bag. Unfortunately, that was the only one I bought. There's a white one and a red one. I bought the white one. I'm now I see a picture of it on my screen right now, the red one, and like that one too. Fortunately, it's from Coach Outlet and it was 50% off, so there is that. But there is a bag also on this. It's called the Swinger. I promise I'm not a swinger. It's called the Swinger bag. That's on the mainline Coach site. That is a crossbody bag that I saw one of my influencer friends carrying, and I was like, "Oh, I love that," but I'm not buying that. I'm gonna put that on my Christmas list instead. But yeah, that was last night. Totally sober, like 9 o'clock at night. Bought a Mickey Mouse purse. Yep, that's me. So and you know I do love Mickey, right? You see 2 Mickeys right there, and another one right there. But no, so it's not a drinking prime situation. It's I don't know if it's late night. It's just I'm bored. I don't know what it is. Maybe I feel richer at night. I don't know. So I always thought it was the booze, though. Gary's like, Swinger, you're not even a teeter-totterer. I know. I don't like the name of the bag. It's from their vintage. I think they call it their heritage collection, which goes back to like the origins of Coach. I'm a Coach fan. I have a Coach bag sitting right here. Also late night purchase. I call that my purse too. But I love Coach stuff. And then J-Lo is one of their spokespeople right now. Love her. And then Michael B. Jordan is the other spokesperson right now. Ooh, Michael B. hot. So just love Coach. But it's just, I like it. It's high quality. It's not stupidly expensive. It's not super showy. I don't buy any of the stuff that has all the C's on it. I don't like things where I'm advertising for other people. I'm not a thing. And yeah, Coach is a classic. Keep it simple and you'll have them for years. Yep. And that Swinger bag is like the classic, most classic of classics. It has kind of like a horse bit on it, which is from like the old school thing, but they've updated it some. But anyway, so late night purchases. What have y'all bought lately? I also bought, do y'all subscribe to, I know Monica does, and I know you do, Carrie, because you and I talked about this today. What is it called? Fucking brain fog again. It's Amazon's treasure truck, which it used to be an actual physical treasure truck that drove around, and like you bought it and it's like a flash sale and you went and picked it up, and they had like a carnival atmosphere, balloons and bubbles and all kinds of like games and stuff. They had to suspend that for COVID, but they still do these flash sales on text. And I guess nationally they all have the same thing now. But today there was like a ring light combo for like $20. It was 40% off, wasn't it, Carrie? 40, something like that. So Eric, Monica is saying, I found a Mickey Coach bag that may end up on my front porch. That's what I'd be like. I don't know where that's the downside of you-know-who working from home all the time now. And they're not going back to the office at the earliest until 2022 at this point, is my understanding. I could be wrong on that. If you're one of his coworkers, that is not a policy decision. That's just kind of what I think I've heard. But the ring light was 39% off. But so I have to I'm like, ugh. Fortunately, he's on meetings all the time, so I can kind of sneak stuff in, but it just takes a lot more work now. And I do have an office, but I'm not there enough to worry. I don't want a Coach bag sitting on my office doorstep. on a random Saturday or Sunday. So Eric is reporting that your boy Cody Rigsby, Peloton, he's also a big Disney fan. He just released, if you're a Peloton person, Cody released a Disney themed workout session, which I've not done it since I got. I'm not going to do it until I'm kind of feeling a little better. I don't think it will make me feel better to exercise. I could be wrong. Does exercise help fatigue? Y'all tell me. But Cody Rigsby is profiled in this month's Advocate magazine. A month ago, I wouldn't have read the article. Yet again, you're an influencer. I'm an influencer on all the wrong things. I'm an influencer about air fryers. As Sandy is saying, she just bought an air fryer. I'm an influencer about Christmas light recharging guns. I'm an influencer about Peloton. I guess that's a little better. Password health. Like, that's crazy. Monica's like, ooh, gotta buy a Peloton. I'm an influencer on RVs. Gotta start looking for that RV. Exactly. Hey, Aaron. What else was I going to talk about today? So, sweat it out. You're at the point now where you can sweat out toxins. Is it toxins or is it just tired? I don't know. I'm going to Google it. You ask Dr. Parker, Eric. Ask Dr. Parker if exercise helps fatigue or if it's just going to make me feel more like shit. So, because I do not want to be any more tired than I am already. And this is my last Cooped Up card. I need to order more. I just realized that when I was pulling it out. Alrighty, well, I think that's all I got. Did I miss anything? Oh, Sandy, what's going to be your maiden voyage on the air fryer? Has it arrived yet, Sandy? What are you going to make in it? Monica wants me to talk about the goalie. Yes, I'll talk about that. But get back to, so my favorite air fryer recipe. So all vegetables are good in the air fryer, but my favorite thing is the chicken that Carrie makes. And basically you take any sort of mayonnaise-y, ranchy, whatever, kind of just moisture-rich, fatty, liquidy kind of thing. Take a bunch of scoops of mayonnaise, throw them in a pot thing, load it up with the Salad Supreme spice mix from McCormick's, I think it is. And it's got paprika in it. It's got some nuts, like seeds in it and stuff like that. You put some chicken breasts in it. You kind of flop them around in it, let them marinate in that. And it's got like cheese in it, like cheddar cheese stuff in it. You take that out. You put them in the air fryer. You cook them in the air fryer for, I can't remember how long. I actually ended up buying a cheat sheet. It's a magnetic cheat sheet from Amazon. And I can throw that in the comments too in a little bit. That helps. Like, since I bought that, I don't fuck it up anymore. I was like overcooking and undercooking things. This cheat sheet is perfect. And it is so good. I call it orange chicken because it's not orange flavored, but it's the paprika makes it orange. And then I'll put, like, once I take it out and put it in the air fryer, I sprinkle it with some Parmesan cheese on top so it gets kind of crusty too. Do not flip it. Do not turn it. Just let it ride. I think it's like 12 minutes on 360 or something like that. It is so good. And Carrie also says you can use Hidden Valley Ranch mix also on that. And yes, send the cheat sheet. I will. Carrie, you ordered the goalie also. So I ordered, and Sandy's, her air fryer arrives tonight. The things that we get excited about, y'all. So the goalie. So y'all probably get a million ads for these goalie gummies. And it started with the apple cider vinegar ones, which I'm a fan of apple cider vinegar. I take it every day. Hate every second of it. But I feel like it helps me sleep. It helps break down sugars. I don't get all the craziness as much. So take that. And then they have one that is super fruits, which is supposed to have all these vitamins from all of the best fruits out there. And then has collagen added into it, which doesn't hurt in the face department. And then they have ashwagandha. I don't know, ashwagandha. It's some African herb that's supposed to kind of give you anti-anxiety kind of stuff, calm your system down. It's supposed to also all of those kinds of like supposedly it helps with men's testosterone levels. And Monica keeps calling it the boner gummy because supposedly it gives you a sex drive again, which I think that's the testosterone part. I could care less about that part of it. I am totally fine with my lack of sex drive. Sex is just exercise, y'all. But so I ordered from Goli directly. I didn't order it from Amazon or anything. I got like an ad for like 30% off, 50%. If you click on the ad once, you're going to get all kinds of offers. So I finally got an offer that I thought, okay, I'll try it out. So I got 2 bottles of each of those: apple cider vinegar, super fruits, and ashwagandha. So they arrived the other day. The Woody Gummy, that's what Monica calls it. So got those the other day. I will tell you, the texture is terrible. The texture, Diane loves them too. The ashwagandha, yes. So I cooped up. I'm guessing you're talking about what's happening after you take the Woody Gummy. I will tell you, the texture is terrible, horrible. Like and also I got them. I only have taken them for like 2 days now, and I haven't had a sense of taste. I'm starting to get it back now, and I could sort of taste them today. So it was only texture for me. The texture is like slightly more congealed jam, like with lots of like granules and stuff in it. So I do not like the texture. I put them in the refrigerator. It recommends putting them in the refrigerator once you open it. It helps a lot with the texture on that. So it makes them not quite as grainy, and I don't know, there's just some weird like clotted kind of like texture. Monica's saying she likes the texture. So out of the fridge, so it makes them better. Still do not like the texture at all. And but refrigerated, they're a little firmer, which I like better. They're harder to get out of the jar. Like you have to really finger the jar to get them out. I can't believe I said that with my family watching. But so far so good. I don't know. I don't think I've been taking them long enough to have any real effects. Definitely it's better than taking a tablespoon of, so I've been taking 2 of the apple cider vinegar in the morning, 2 of the fruits at lunchtime, and 2 of the ashwagandha, whatever it is, in the evening. And it's so much better than taking actual apple cider vinegar, like, because that just burns the whole way down. Even if you do a water chaser, there's no way to take apple cider vinegar that is not totally disgusting. So I like that. I also take apple cider vinegar because I had a gallbladder attack once, and that was the only thing that helped it. Thanks, Monica, for that tip. And after that, I'm like, nope, doing this forever. This is my new thing. And it has tons of like supposed benefits too. So that, and then the super fruits. I'm hoping the collagen kicks in because I need some of that help, especially if I got to wear readers. I had to fucking get Todd's readers to read the jars of these things. That's how quickly my nearsightedness is, or my near sight is going. I'm farsighted, I guess. So, you're seeing these comments quicker than 20 seconds. COVID clarity. Who knows? Maybe it's the new computer. I don't know. Carrie is saying, how come boys get Woody gummies and girls don't get G-spot or G-spot gummies? Why are we so concentrated on erections? No, it's not. So I saw Tabitha Brown. I did not even realize that they had that effect. Tabitha Brown is the one who was pushing Goli because they did a recent influencer campaign, and she was talking about it helps her too. She was like, so it's not actually Woody. It's not about that. It's about like your sex drive or whatever, or your wow. I don't know what I'm so out of it. I'm so old. But so she was like, it helps me a lot, y'all. Hey, y'all, it's none of your business, but I'm gonna tell you my business. That's my Tabitha Brown impersonation. And Carrie liked me talking about finger in the jar. So, alrighty. So I'll keep you posted on the Goli. I like the collagen stuff. It makes my hair grow. Unfortunately, I was taking like pill form collagen. Those things go down your throat like chalk. Then you could drink them with a gallon of water, and it just rolls down doesn't roll, it drags down your throat. So I was happy for a gummy version, even if I don't like the textures. So anyway, I don't know what you're asking here. And it's the apple cider vinegar goalie that help. The ashwagandha ones are the ones that have the sexual drive and all that kind of stuff. So supposedly ashwagandha, I'm probably saying ashwagandha. I'm flipping it, ashwagandha. It has all kinds of, like, it's like a mythical, like everybody loves that herb. So that's the one to get. It's in a blue bottle. So I'm sure I have a coupon or something I can send you if you want to try it out. Alrighty. With that, I am going to. Kyle or Aaron is saying a spoonful of sugar of apple cider vinegar nights keeps my indigestion away, allows me to drink wine. Yeah, I mean, I suppose it helps everything. So, alrighty. Well, with that, I'm gonna say bye. I love you. It's important to know you are loved. Thank you for watching. I've missed you. This does give me energy, although I bet as soon as I hit end broadcast, my strings are just gonna cut and I'm gonna fall to the floor. But we will see. And with that, I will see you tomorrow. Do y'all watch on Fridays? I feel like Fridays are one of those days where I don't know if I have much of an audience. So I've been tinkering with the idea of doing Monday through Thursday. But I'll do Friday if y'all are watching on Friday. So let me know. And with that, I'm going to say bye. See ya tomorrow for another episode of Cooped Up Live. Cooped Up, should I say. Talk to you later. Bye.